My own family forced me to lose weight for my sister's wedding, but the moment I became truly confident, truly myself, they hated it. What started as a push for improvement quickly spiraled into a bitter battle for my very identity. From the moment I can remember, my size defined me. I wasn't just a child, I was the big kid. In kindergarten, while others were still figuring out their names, my size already set me apart. As I grew, that distinction became a heavy burden. By high school, there was no denying it. I was overweight, and my shape felt like a constant, glaring reminder of how different I was. College wasn't much better. While others explored who they were, I stayed stuck, fighting against the same old identity. It wasn't easy being the bigger kid. It opened me up to endless ridicule, cruel jokes, and nasty comments from people who didn't know me, and certainly didn't care to. Classmates teased me mercilessly, their insults burrowing deep, planting seeds of self-doubt that felt impossible to overcome. I was always the punchline, always singled out, as if I were somehow unworthy of affection or friendship. Parties, games, gatherings. I was always on the outside, watching everyone else live out their childhood from a distance I couldn't bridge. Those years of bullying shaped me. Feeling out of place, I found refuge in books. Literature became my sanctuary, stories an escape from the daily pain. Books didn't judge, they didn't mock. So I became the nerd, and even that label felt like another wall around me. Bonnie, my younger sister, was my complete opposite. Only a year younger, she had this effortless charisma that drew people in like moths to a flame. Where I was shy and reserved, Bonnie thrived in social situations. She had a magnetic personality. She could walk into any room and instantly have everyone smiling, laughing, utterly captivated. Bonnie didn't just make friends easily. She seemed to possess an intrinsic ability to persuade people, almost as if she were the sun around which everyone naturally gravitated. Despite our differences, I adored her. I took my role as her older sister seriously, feeling fiercely protective whenever she needed me. When she started high school, the same one I attended, I was overjoyed. Initially, being Bonnie's older sister filled me with pride, a sense of having a special place in her life. But as she got older, things began to shift. As Bonnie settled into high school and carved out her own identity, I saw a change in how she perceived me. She started noticing our differences, how differently we were treated. I was the quiet, bookish type. She was vivacious, popular, quickly becoming part of the cool crowd. I watched as she became aware of my eccentricities and insecurities, the very things that made me seem uncool in her new world. Slowly, she began to distance herself. She found new friends, and then she actively started ignoring and avoiding me in school. That hurt. It genuinely pained me that my own sister saw me as inferior. Still, I tried my best to accept her decision, to give her the space she seemed to need, even though it felt like I was losing not just a sister, but a friend. But it didn't stop there. Gradually, Bonnie didn't just ignore me. She began associating with others who made me feel like an outcast. Bonnie and her friends would seize every opportunity to humiliate me. Whenever we crossed paths in the corridors or at lunch, they'd taunt me in front of other students, or worse, try to trip me as I passed with my lunch tray, just for a laugh. It felt like I was losing her, not to new people, but to the same taunting, abusive behavior I had endured for so long. I was constantly on guard, attempting to avoid not just my peers' criticism, but the humiliation inflicted by my own sister. It hurt more than anything, especially coming from someone I had always admired and loved. Even at home, when Bonnie invited her friends over, they would gang up on me. They'd barge into my room without knocking, then laugh and gesture at my body. They'd fling insults like geek and fatty at me like they were nothing. I felt like a zoo animal, their personal source of entertainment, trapped in my own space. I felt small, alone, and alien in my own home. I tried to explain it to my parents, hoping they would finally grasp how tough it was for me to deal with Bonnie's behavior. But every single time, they dismissed my worries. They'd smile, defending her actions, claiming, "This is just how siblings bond," or "Bonnie's only playing around." They told me it was harmless, even suggesting that I loosen up and stop taking everyone's taunts so seriously. They said I was older, I should be more patient, more resilient. So, not only did I face years of bullying from my peers and my own sister, but my concerns were repeatedly rejected by the very people who were supposed to protect me. It made me feel utterly isolated, as if no one in my own family truly understood how deeply it hurt. The only time I ever felt properly noticed by my parents was when my grades came in. Academics had always come effortlessly, and I got used to getting high marks. In a way, it was the one area where I felt superior, the one way I could make my parents proud, the only part of my life they seemed to actually care about. My parents loved bragging about my accomplishments to friends and relatives, portraying me as the family scholar, as if my grades were evidence of their parenting prowess. But Bonnie detested the comparisons. She wasn't an academic overachiever, nor did she want to be. Our parents' constant reminders of my accomplishments only fueled her resentment. They held my grades up as an example, implying she needed to do the same. I could always tell she was frustrated and angry, which is probably why she did what she did. Bonnie would sometimes try to sabotage my hard work to get back at me. She'd sneak into my room in the middle of the night and snatch my homework, often right before a major assignment was due. I'd wake up the next morning to find my perfectly completed work stolen. Panic would set in, and I'd feverishly search through my books, papers, and files, growing more anxious with each passing minute. And there she'd be, smirking, watching me from the doorway, relishing every moment of my distress. To her, it was a minor victory, a way to bring me down a peg and remind me that I wasn't invincible. She knew how important my grades were to me, how much of my self-worth I had invested in them, and she reveled in disturbing that aspect of my life. I only found out about her stealing my assignments years later, when she drunkenly admitted it one evening. My relationship with Bonnie has softened over time, but we're still far from close. You could say we've matured a little, and some of the animosity from our youth has dissipated. However, that strong closeness siblings often share never fully emerged between us. After graduation, I moved out, starting a new life in a new city with an interesting job and exciting opportunities. This meant I didn't see my family as much. As time passed, our communications became limited to occasional phone calls or texts. So, last year, when I scheduled a summer visit home, I was genuinely excited to see everyone. It had been a long time since we'd all gotten together as a family, and I was eager to catch up and reconnect. However, not everything went as planned. Our family lunch started well enough. Everyone seemed delighted to see me, and for a moment, it felt like old times. That changed, though, when Bonnie unexpectedly revealed her engagement. None of us saw it coming, and we initially assumed she was joking. But it was instantly clear she was serious. She proudly held out her hand, displaying a gorgeous ring, and I couldn't help but remark how exquisite it was. I was genuinely happy for her, delighted that she had finally met someone she loved, and who loved her back. Almost as soon as the congratulations subsided, Bonnie turned to me and inquired about my recent activities. I told her about my profession, my life, and how rewarding things had been for me. Before I could even finish, she cut me off. "I can't help but say this," she started, smirking. "But why are you still fat? I mean, if your life is truly amazing, shouldn't you have shed weight by now?" Her remarks hit me like a slap, reawakening old insecurities I thought I had overcome. The room became uncomfortably silent, and I could feel everyone's gaze on me, waiting to see how I would respond. I merely shrugged and tried to laugh awkwardly at her comment, but my parents immediately joined in to criticize me. They began discussing how I was still obese and unmarried, and how they were concerned I would never have children. I felt so mortified hearing them talk like that. My accomplishments, the work I was proud of, the life I had made for myself in another city, none of it seemed to matter in their eyes. They were just concerned with my weight and the fact that I didn't have my own family. As my parents and sister continued to talk about me, their comments cut deeper than I imagined. I had spent years finally discovering myself, gaining confidence and freedom. But in those moments, I felt like the same nervous, awkward teenager I had always been, desperate for my family's acceptance and approval. My parents then applauded Bonnie for getting engaged before me and expressed their pride in her. To them, I was the inferior child, successful but not quite enough. What was supposed to be a happy family reunion had swiftly turned into a heartbreaking reminder of old scars. At that point, I felt more like an outsider than ever. Bonnie didn't stop. She continued to ask probing questions. "So, when are you getting married? I mean, do you even have a boyfriend?" She was blatantly mocking me in front of everyone by bringing up my romantic life. My parents soon jumped on the subject, agreeing with Bonnie that it was past time for me to find someone before it was too late. They pointed out how Bonnie, being younger, was settling down before me, while I, the older one, was wasting my life away at work. I attempted to argue that I liked my life the way it was, that my work and freedom provided me with fulfillment. My career paid well, and I was passionate about it, so why did I need to meet a spouse or have a child to be happy? I am content just the way I am, I informed them. But my words didn't appear to register. My mother especially appeared contemptuous. She gave me a sharp look and taunted me. What's the point of earning all that money if you don't have anyone to come home to? It was as if she couldn't believe that happiness existed outside of marriage or family. Sitting there, I had the familiar feeling of being misunderstood, that my life choices were disregarded. This was my family, and they were supposed to know me best. However, they appeared to be preoccupied with a different definition of happiness than mine. I had come home seeking connection and warmth, but instead got judgment and taunts. Bonnie then smirked and added, "I expect you to at least have a +1 by the time my wedding rolls around." She chuckled and kept going. "I don't want people thinking my sister is some old miserable woman all alone while I'm getting married." The comment stung. I simply shook my head and assured her I'd try. That's when my folks spoke out again, matter-of-factly. "Bonnie's wedding is almost a year away. Even if you can't find a partner, you could at least try to lose weight and look more presentable for her wedding." They suggested that if I reduced weight, it would be simpler for me to attract a partner. Bonnie enthusiastically agreed with them. "Yeah, I want you to lose a few pounds at least," she remarked nonchalantly, as if she was doing me a favor. I sat there astonished and humiliated, with an aching I hadn't felt in years. How could my own relatives talk to me like this? Did I truly deserve their hateful words simply because I was overweight? Was I not meant to have feelings because I was fat? I was a normal person just like them. I functioned like everyone else. I never considered my weight an impediment, so why did they? I'd even dated men who liked me just the way I was. But my parents and Bonnie made it sound like my weight was preventing me from finding love or men approaching me, which wasn't even true. I wanted to defend myself and tell them how terrible their statements were, but I felt frozen, unable to find the correct words. Their statements took me back to high school, to the agonizing times when my weight made me a target. I despised how nonchalantly my family brought up my deepest concerns without considering how they made me feel. So I sat there, holding in my pain, and let the topic move on to anything else. When I returned home from that trip, a burning rage ignited within me, a desperate need to prove them wrong, not just to them, but to myself. I pushed myself into reducing weight with a zeal I hadn't realized I possessed. It began as a way to prove something to my family, but it gradually grew very personal. I joined a gym, followed a rigorous diet, and even hired a personal trainer. My trainer was a lifesaver. Having gone through her own transformation from overweight to healthy, she knew exactly how to guide me through a path tailored specifically for me. She created a routine specific to my goals and encouraged me every step of the way, reminding me to give myself grace when I stumbled. This time, everything seemed to click. I started losing weight steadily, and as the pounds came off, I felt lighter, not just physically but also mentally. For the first time in my life, I began to feel and appear different. My confidence increased quickly. I used to assume that decreasing weight wouldn't have much of an influence, but it has. People see me differently today. Strangers are nicer and more attentive. Friends and colleagues treat me with fresh respect. I can't deny that this feels like a validation I've never gotten before. It's as if I've suddenly become more noticeable than I was. By the way, if you're still with me, make sure to hit subscribe. More unbelievable stories are coming. My new body brought a new sense of style. I overhauled my entire wardrobe, filling it with items I had only fantasized about wearing. I even opted for a full hair makeover, attempting a daring and trendy blonde style that I would have been too afraid to try in the past. Perhaps it seems extravagant, but I've never felt so good. I look in the mirror now and don't recognize the person staring back. It's like meeting a version of myself that I never knew existed. I'm proud of how far I've come, not just because I lost weight, but also because I gained confidence and self-assurance. With Bonnie's wedding just 2 weeks away, my family had invited me to fly down and join them for lunch next week to finalize the plans for her special day. But I didn't feel like returning home. I didn't want my family to ridicule me again or make me feel tiny, especially now that I was finally feeling good about myself. For the first time in a long time, I didn't want to go to Bonnie's wedding anymore because of how she and my parents had treated me. But I knew if I didn't go, they'd be furious and give me a long lecture about how family is family, and how, no matter how heartbroken I was, I must be present for Bonnie's big day. So I wondered, What happens if I do not attend my sister's wedding? I was overwhelmed by everyone's response. Some of your proposals were truly humorous. I couldn't believe you were encouraging me to show up and mess with my sister now that I'd lost so much weight. Growing up as a fat kid had a negative impact on my self-esteem, particularly in how I perceived myself. I struggled with self-doubt for a long time, always believing that I wasn't good enough or didn't measure up to others. But reading all of your responses was a game changer. It was as if you'd helped me see myself in a completely new light, and I was finally starting to feel more confident than I ever had. In fact, I seriously considered turning up to my family's lunch and shocking them. They hadn't seen me in a long time, and since I didn't use social media, they had no idea how much weight I'd dropped. It would be interesting to witness their reactions. Okay, Reddit, you're not prepared for this update. Grab some popcorn, because things are about to get exciting. I decided to fly down to join my family for lunch, as I previously stated. I believed that when they saw me, they would be proud of the transformation I had undergone. After all, they were the ones who pushed me into it in the first place. Surely, they'd be overjoyed to see the positive improvements in me and finally recognize the effort I'd put in. When I walked into my parents' house, their jaws absolutely dropped. They looked at me, stunned, as if they couldn't believe I was the same person. After a moment, they stammered, wondering if it was actually me. I gave them a big hug, thrilled with their reaction. They continually complimented my appearance, saying how beautiful I looked and how they couldn't believe it was me. However, when Bonnie came, the situation changed. She didn't notice me at first, disregarding me as if I were invisible, as she had done so many times before. But when I rose up to greet her, she did a double take, her eyes widening with surprise. She gave an odd, almost forced laugh before reaching over and pushing her fingers on my stomach, wide-eyed, as if she wanted proof that I had truly dropped all that weight. My parents laughed at her reaction and explained that they too couldn't believe it at first. As we settled in for lunch, the subject turned to my makeover. Bonnie and my parents bombarded me with questions about how I had done it, marveling at how different I appeared. Their voices were full of surprise, as if they had never imagined I could look any other way. Bonnie in particular kept saying that she had never anticipated me to alter so dramatically after dropping weight. Then she dropped this gem. When I first asked you to lose weight, I never expected you to look this pretty. I didn't even know you had that jawline and those ankles beneath all that fat. I hesitated, attempting to maintain my cool, and smiled at her before reminding her. Bonnie, I've always been pretty. Losing weight just enhanced my features. Bonnie, on the other hand, contended that there was something more about me that was distinct. Then she had the audacity to ask, "Did you have some surgeries done on yourself? Because there's no way you look this good by yourself." I could feel my blood starting to boil. The hubris, to believe that I required surgery to look attractive, when in fact I had worked so hard to get my current appearance. I looked her directly in the eyes and replied, "Wow, Bonnie, it's amazing that you think that little of me. No surgery, just a lot of hard work and self-love. Something you might want to try sometime." Bonnie's expression changed from surprise to displeasure, but I didn't care. It felt amazing to finally say something and put her in her place. Before she could react, my parents jumped in, attempting to smooth things over in their own way. "You shouldn't be offended," my mother replied. "The three of us have just never seen you look this way before. Honestly, you look even more beautiful now than Bonnie does, and she's the one getting married." Bonnie appeared much angrier following Mom's remark. I simply ignored her and concentrated on my food, allowing my sister to seethe in her rage. Then my mother joined in. "You know, I was thinking, maybe you should go back to your original hair color. I think you'd look even better with your natural shade. This blonde look makes you stand out too much. Maybe you should just go back to your old look." Bonnie and my father quickly agreed with her. My dad concurred with my mom and said, "Bonnie has always been the blonde daughter of the family, and you were the brunette, so it would be a good idea for you to go back to your original hair color. It might make you look more like yourself." Hearing their statements, I was taken aback. I suddenly felt like the three of them were ganging up on me, attempting to bring me down. My hairstylist had suggested that I change my hair color to blonde because it better matched my skin tone and complexion. It had nothing to do with attempting to outperform or overshadow my sister. I could see why Bonnie was jealous of me. I looked nice now, but I couldn't figure out why my folks were so unhappy with me. It was as if they wanted to transform me back into who I was. despite the fact that they had wanted me to be more acceptable for their darling daughter's forthcoming wedding in the first place. But now that I had changed, they couldn't accept who I had become. Instead of recognizing my progress, they sought to undermine me. I finally questioned my parents. What's your problem? Why can't I be blonde too? Does my sister own that color or something? I paused, annoyed. No, she doesn't. I can be blonde or brunette, it's my choice. Why does it even matter to you so much? I couldn't understand why they were so obsessed with my returning to my former self, as if my appearance had to match who I was before. My mother scoffed at me and claimed that I was purposefully attempting to undermine Bonnie's wedding by making an effort to stand out with my appearance. Bonnie joined in, stating, "With your weight loss, you're already going to stand out, so do you really need to take my hair color too?" My father, as usual, agreed with her, telling me that I was being difficult for no reason, and that as Bonnie's sister, I should be more tolerant. I couldn't believe what I heard. It was not about stealing anything. It was about having the ability to do whatever made me happy. But instead of supporting it, they were all concerned about how it would make Bonnie uncomfortable. You know what? I'm done with this, I murmured, the words almost burning as they left my lips. The three of you are so caught up in your own negativity that you can't even accept that I've changed. The truth is, I've always been amazing just the way I am, but none of you ever saw it. Now, even after I've lost weight, it's still not good enough for you. No matter what I do, it's never enough. I took time to process what I had just said. They only gazed at me, and it didn't matter. I was done with holding back. Since you all have so much to say about me, I think it's time I gave you some unsolicited advice, just like you love to give me. I turned to my mother first, feeling the words surge inside me like a deluge. Mom, I really hate how loose the skin is around your eyes and your lips. They droop on one side when you laugh. I can't help but notice all your crooked teeth, and honestly, it's just disgusting to me. I just gave her a second to react before turning to my father. Dad, I said with a stern voice, you're bald. You really have no right to say anything about anyone's hair or their hair color. How are you going to criticize someone's looks when you can't even keep a full head of hair? I noticed his face stiffening, but I wasn't finished yet. Finally, I resorted to Bonnie. And you, don't ever talk down to me again. Between the two of us, I've always been the better-looking sibling, but now with all the weight I've lost, you look even fatter than me. Just look at those chubby arms of yours. Bonnie's face flushed with shame, and she appeared to be about to burst into tears. I then hoisted my glass, downed my drink in one go, and walked out with a smirk, leaving everyone stunned and astonished. I had spoken everything I needed to say. I couldn't believe those words had come out of my mouth, but I didn't regret them one bit. They deserved to be humiliated after years of being criticized. After lunch, I flew directly back home. I did not want to stay behind and attend Bonnie's wedding. Since then, my phone has been overloaded with voicemails and texts from my parents and Bonnie. They've been calling me disrespectful and foul-mouthed for how I spoke to them, and for simply leaving. Mom even insists that I fly back down to attend Bonnie's wedding, because it won't look good to her in-laws if I don't. So, I ended up skipping Bonnie's wedding, thanks to all of your suggestions. Instead of returning home to attend, I decided to treat myself to an impromptu staycation at a 5-star resort. Honestly, it was one of the best moves I'd made in a long time. I spent the weekend doing whatever made me happy. No drama or pressure, just pure enjoyment. I treated myself to a spa day, binge-watched my favorite shows, and even visited some new places in the city I'd been longing to see. I've also blocked my relatives so they can't contact me again. I'm weary of being bullied by them and want to avoid all of the poison and drama right now. My primary focus is on self-care. Have you ever felt like you had to shrink yourself to make others comfortable? Or did you find your power and refuse to be dimmed? I'm so curious to hear your stories in the comments below.